Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith, and welcome to my review of episode 3 of The Bachelorette. Last night's episode was action-packed, so if it's okay with you, let's get right into it. Now, of course, the episode started off with DeMario coming back and pleading his case, saying how sorry he was that Rachel caught him red-handed, even though he tried to do his best Shaggy impression. It wasn't me. Yeah, it was you. And just as I said to you last week, Rachel wasn't going to buy it, and she told him he had to get to stepping. Because, you know what? Had you been a man ahead of time and you told me this and you told me that, you'd be in the mansion right now. No, he wouldn't. Imagine that. Hi, Rachel. I know I'm on the show. I know you've got these 30 other guys, but I got a girlfriend back at home. Are we okay? Cool. Peace. No. She would have kicked him out anyways. But regardless, we got to spend another 10 minutes reliving that saga, and then we got to go on to the rose ceremony. The rose ceremony was very dramatic. It could be one of the most dramatic ever, don't you know? And at the end of it, we got to see Lucas and Blake hit the road, Jack, and don't you come back no more, no more, no more. Now, of course, Lucas, at the end of the day, he was there to promote Waboom, which is his big thing. And then you have Blake, who basically spent pretty much every moment with Rachel whining about Lucas. So they're out and they're doing their post interviews, and then Blake comes up to him and starts telling him off. And the next thing I know, I'm watching these two grown men yelling Waboom insults at each other outside of the house. It was one of those moments where I had to rub my eyes and kind of, am I sleeping? Am I really seeing this? This is what I'm seeing right now? Two grown men yelling at each other and having like the worst Abbott Costello impression ever? Anyways, moving on, we went on a group date next, and we took some of the gentlemen to the Ellen DeGeneres show. Of course, Ellen DeGeneres is absolute gold, and you have to be crazy not to like Ellen. And she's on. She has the gentleman on, and it's all very sweet. So, of course, if you know Ellen, you know that she loves dancing. So it wasn't long before the gentlemen are running into the audience, topless, bumping and grinding with studio audience participants who were more than willing to be danced on by these half-naked men. Except I'm watching this and I'm thinking to myself, okay, so the big thing is to get these guys to run out and dance, in which they did, but not one of them, not one, had the wherewithal, had the thought to look back at Rachel and say, you know what? I'm gonna go scoop you up, put you on Ellen's couch and start dancing for you. Nope. They were all dancing with women in the audience. Gentlemen, it's your boy Keith. Here's a heads up. Here is the box. Try to think outside of it. Because that would have been hilarious, and that would have been something that would have captured her attention. But no. Instead, they danced for the lady in row 17, seat B. So, good for her. Anyways, after that, we got to know the interesting contrast between Fred and Alex. Now, Alex is this guy who basically comes along, he's very suave, and he says to Rachel, oh, Rachel, you know what? When I'm around you, you make me nervous. She's thinking to herself, or she's saying, you don't have to be nervous with me, it's okay. But then when Fred says the exact same thing, she's basically saying she wants a man, not a boy. Now, Fred, of course, is the guy that knew Rachel from camp, and there seems to be some sort of history there, and he has been crushing hard on her. So he's listening to all the other guys and he's realizing everybody has been kissing her except for me. Well, yes, that is pretty true. Everybody has been kissing her except for you. So he decides he's going to take matters into his own hands. So does he just go up to her and passionately pull her in and kiss her? No. He conducts a survey. Rachel, is it okay if I kiss you? To which she listens to that and she thinks, or she says, you're asking me? Now this is awkward. So time out. Under normal circumstances, under certain circumstances, I wouldn't be opposed to him asking her, or a guy asking a girl, is it okay? I understand that women like confidence. I understand that women want men to take control of certain situations. But I also understand that sometimes if you're not reading the signals right, it might not be a bad thing. I remember years ago, I was in a situation with a woman, and she's very attractive, and I said to her, I think you're very pretty. And she said, well, thank you, Keith. And I said, well, would it be okay if I kissed you? And I'll never forget what she said to me. It's like it was yesterday. Keith, that wouldn't be appropriate. I'm your third grade teacher. Of course, that was many years ago, and thank Miss Murtaugh for putting me on the right track. But at the same token, I asked. So there are situations where it might work, there are situations where it might not work, and I'll be honest with you, regardless of what Fred had done in this situation, Her decision had already been made. She wasn't interested in Fred. So if Fred's going home thinking, I should have done it this way, should have done it that way, Fred, at the end of the day, it was done. So moving on from that situation, the next thing you know, we're going mud wrestling, because that's the next group date. Actually, no, there was some sort of date where she went on horseback through Rodeo Drive with this guy, but it completely bored me. And if you haven't seen this episode yet, that's the time for you to go to the bathroom. Anyways, she's on this group date and they go mud wrestling. So, of course, at the end of the date, well, actually, let's talk about the mud wrestling for a second. First of all, I thought it was somewhat, silly to have grown men rolling around in the mud wrestling. I mean, I would not have women that I'm attracted to wrestling in mud. Well, anyways, it was a silly but fun date, and at the end of it, the truth came out that so many people do not like Eric. They just don't like him. So there was a whole bunch of drama there, and there's a whole bunch of back and forth there, and people are yelling at each other, and he's going around saying, why am I in your mouth? Why are y'all talking about me? It's like, Eric, chill, relax. I couldn't take any of that seriously, because as we're getting into these episodes and I'm learning names, I'm sitting on the couch and I'm thinking to myself, wait. Your name is Iggy? And your name is Diggy? This is amazing. Iggy and Diggy? I am praying, I am hoping with every fiber of my being that Rachel goes on a 2-on-1 date with Iggy and Diggy. Can you imagine how amazing that'll be? Oh, can you pass the salt, Iggy? Sorry, no. I was talking to Diggy. Hang on, Iggy. I got to go talk to Diggy right now, and then I'll come back and I'll be with you. It is ridiculous. I love these guys. I hope they stay a lot longer than I think they probably will, just so we can get more humor out of Iggy and Diggy. Anyways, next week it looks like things are starting to heat up. We're going to get into some more drama. So I hope you're ready for that. What did you think of this week's episode? I want to know. There was so much craziness, from the waboom in front of the house to ask to kiss or not to ask to kiss, to seeing Raven again. Hey, Raven. To so many different things. Crazy episode. Let me know what you think. CFL_fan on Twitter, Facebook.com/Whitty Whittier, and WhittyWhittier.com. Let me tell you something. If you want to tell people about this blog, if you're enjoying it, I would love that. Sharing is caring. I don't mind if I'm in your mouth. You can put me in your mouth and say, hey, check out Whitty Whittier's website. Check out his blog on The Bachelorette. It's quite entertaining. And if you're lucky, you might catch a glimpse of Iggy and Diggy. All right, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for checking this out. My name is Keith. Take care.